So, Sonny, why are we here today?
We are here to discover if we have otters or not, which apparently we don't.
There's no otter in the pond. There's no otter living in the pond. They'll just be passing through. They're a nomadic animal. They'll come in, they'll move out. You don't have enough stock in this pond to keep a family of otters living here.
Mr. Tony, would you tell us your name and what you do and how people can contact you?
Tony Howard. I run a eviction notice, wildlife removal, and they can contact me at 318-423-7860. One right there. Right here, that's the first thing I saw when I came in. That muddy little path right around through there. Who's just walking the snot out of it? He's walking circles around the pond. Fishing, and you see what they're catching the crawfish. Yeah. I'll keep looking, but I'm not seeing anything that really gets me going about otter.
Okay. Tell us all about otters and what we can do and what we can't do, please.
Such as, otters are nomadic. They move in and out. On a pond this size, they're going to come in, they're going to feed for a day, two, they're going to move on. They have to feed every 2 to 4 hours because their metabolism is so high. They're going to eat. That's all they do. They're an eating machine. And they roam continually. They eat everything from fish, ducks, frogs, snakes. If they can get it and catch it, they will eat it. Their favorite, of course, is fish and crawfish.
Wow. We brought in some bullfrogs from the river down there, and after about a week, we didn't hear one of them anymore.
That could be coons also. Coons will also eat them. But at the same token, you know, the otter move nomadically. They liable to not be back through here for 20 days, 30 days. It's not like they live here and they just stay. Now, granted, you do have certain family units that will stay in a set area, and they set up housekeeping, but as far as that's on the bigger property, the lake-style property, where they have plenty to eat and they're not having to hunt and roam, they'll actually sit on the lake property a lot of times, and still they don't even like to do that. They still move continually, and otter can move up to 31 to 40 miles. I mean, it's not a real big thing for them to get in the water and take off. And have an otter 40 miles down the river, and 1 week later he'd be 40 miles up on the Arkansas line.
Wow.
Yeah, they get around.
Okay.
They are weasel. They are a land-dwelling mammal that hunts in and near the water.
Okay, so they're not here now. how do we keep them from coming in?
It's next to impossible unless you put up a fence. And that's the only true way to keep them from doing that, or leave traps set continually waiting, but there's no sign or trails showing where they're coming from or going to, so you don't even have that to set a trap on. So therefore, the thing to do is know that they're in here and catch them at that point in time.
And how would we know when they're here? We've never seen one.
You're going to see the sign, you're going to see the track, you're going to see the scat, and you're going to see the trail. You're going to see the dead carcasses, the dead fish. But just like the crawfish that we were looking at, a coon is doing that. A coon will eat the tail of the crawfish and leave the head. The otter eats everything. They consume the entire crawfish. Head, claws, tail, all of it.
Okay, so
They
that
leave nothing of a crawfish.
so that catfish skeleton we saw back over there,
That was a raccoon.
that was a coon.
A coon did that. Had it been a otter, you would have found a pile of scat with nothing but crawfish in it. And it would have been crunched up, crawfish shell and everything. They eat it all.
Okay, so the catfish skeleton.
Catfish skeleton definitely could be an otter, but that was an old skeleton. That was not a fresh skeleton, so there's no fresh otter in here. But an otter will eat the catfish from the tip of the tail up to the gills and then stop. On a brim, he'll turn him up and take him at the head and start on the head and go to the tail. And he eats everything. He'll even crunch the head and eat the head. They crunch everything. Sometimes they will strip them out and leave just a skeleton, but most times they crunch it all, bone and all.
Wow.
And they do not have any predator other than humans.
Wow. Okay, so when would be the best time to call you? Because we know otters are coming, we just don't know when. When would be the best time for you to set up?
When you see them. That's the problem. You have to see the sign to know that they're actually here, active.
Okay, if setting a cage or a live trap, what's the best way to bait it for an otter?
Don't use bait. I don't use any kind of bait. Any kind of bait you're going to use to catch an otter is going to sour it within a day. In this temperature, the otter don't eat dead things. Otter are not scavengers. They are carnivorous, period, and they eat fresh. They do not eat dead animals.
Okay, what about we heard that 100% cane syrup would attract an otter.
I've never heard that.
We heard it from...
Yeah, I've never heard that. I've never used any bait on an otter. I have used bait, but it's a very specific type, and it's very specific, and it's dealing with trapping. It's not dealing with trying to remove them from a location.
What's the difference?
Trapping is I know where the otter are, and I'm following them on a main waterway or something like that, and I set up sets specifically to catch a traveling otter. Here, you're trying to catch an isolated otter coming to an isolated pond.
Wow.
Trapping is a totally different setup.
Okay.
It's where I go look for the animal wherever and find the animal and take it out. Here, I have to have the animal at my location to catch it. And if you're going to use a cage trap, the only way that you're going to do it truthfully is in a double door cage trap in a crossover where they're trying to come into the pond.
With no bait, just hoping they walk right through the middle.
It's called blind setting, and that's the way that I catch all my otter. Let me rephrase that. That's the way that I catch probably 90% of all otters with a blind set. Because whenever you start baiting, you start attracting everything else. Raccoons, you can even attract birds. Birds of prey in some way. I don't want to do that. I'm looking specifically for an otter, and I'm looking specifically for where that otter is going to travel and set up ahead of it.
Wow.
There are specific cage traps designed and made by a gentleman out of New York, Comstock. He makes some otter-specific traps that are cage traps, but they're very cumbersome, they're very expensive, and you have to be very patient. But there's no place to set it here because there's no sign of crossover. They're not coming in here frequent enough to leave a trail.
Okay.
When you have otter
Okay.
coming frequently, they're going to have a trail, and it's going to look just like the highway out there. You're hearing all the cars roll up and down. That's what it'll look like. We actually name them I-49, I-20, Highway 2, Highway 3. We actually name them by that because they wear them out so deep and so wide when they are frequenting a place. Understand also that you can have a family unit of one male otter roaming around, goofing off, up to a family group of 7 otter at one time coming across. Your worst case scenario would be to have 7 otter hit your pond at one time. But then you have seven mammals looking to eat 5 pounds of fish.
That's 3 fish an otter.
Yep. So that's what you're looking at.
Okay. Wow.
I hope it's been helpful.
Mr. Tony, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Your number one more time.
318-423-7860.
And what do you actually take from people's yards and homes most frequently?
I do not do any residential.
Ah.
All I do is rural. I do beaver, otter, coyote, nutria, and mostly in the rural setting. I do not actually work at people's residences anymore. I am strictly a rural, and it's a pond, so it's rural to me.
Yes. Well, we do have a coyote we saw 2 weeks ago in the front yard looking at the chickens. Wow. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Joe?
Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Well, thank you for tuning in to this newest episode of Joe's Backyard. Please subscribe, like, and share because more videos are on the way. Thank you for watching.